Ain't nothing wrong with you, just remember you're special. Feeling hopeless and alone, just remember there's always God there to be there to help you. Put in effort, make mistakes, no one on this earth is perfect. Trials and tribulations both in life are guaranteed, but in the end it's all worth it. I'm hoping and I'm praying. This is something relatable and the words are beneficial when someone out there can understand what I'm saying. Mind, muscle, motivation. Let's stop playing. Share it with the nation. What they do though? Hey, y'all check this out. When we die, people are going to be talking, right? While we're alive, people are going to be talking. The only difference is that when we're done, when we're over, when we're dead, when we're no longer here, they don't have to worry about confrontation. They don't have to worry about being confronted. They don't have to even worry about the family, because by then the family are going to realize whatever we confront is not going to bring back our loved ones. So, with all being said, if people are going to talk, why not let them talk about more good than bad? Why not have them talk about you in the highest, in the best of ways, right? It's mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for coming across this channel. For my first time listeners, hit that like button, subscribe, share. I'm all about building a community. I'm all about getting better together forever. I like this one, y'all. I like this one because I used to think, I don't care if people talk about me, because I knew people talk about me when I'm alive and when I'm no longer here. So I thought, I'm not going to give them good or bad to talk about, because either way, they're going to be talking about me. But my mindset has shifted, as it does every single day. It's shifted in the biggest and the highest of ways, because I know that every day I am writing a story. I'm writing a story that's filled with different chapters, and it's not so much for other people. I have the YouTube channel, that's great and all, but the story that I'm writing are for the people that know me, for the people that love me, the people that have actually took the time to get to know me. The story that I'm writing is for them. For the people that don't know anything about me, for the people who only know of me, for the people who have only seen me. The book is for them to look at, because that's my life. People look at me. They don't try to get to know me. They just look, they just stare, they go by what they see. And then at that point, there goes the assumption. So when I'm no longer here, you can get the book, you can read the title and automatically assume what you think it's about. You can go by the pictures and automatically assume that you know what it's about. I don't care. Like I said, the story that I'm writing are for people that have took the time to get to know me, for the people who want to reminisce on what I left behind. That's what it's all about for me. So what I have come to the conclusion of when it comes to, every day we're writing our book, we're writing a story, and I've just come to the conclusion that I don't want to be a book that is filled with more prosperity than downfall and defeat. Because think about it. The best stories that have been told are for the individuals who have started at the bottom, who rise to the top. I don't want to read a book where an individual has success. From the beginning to the very end, it's just success. I want to hear about how you can be at the bottom and how you can rise up. I want to hear about an individual who is in a hole and who have climbed their way out of it through the digging, through the falling, the everyday digging and falling, and just finally crawling their way to the top. Because again, the individuals who have literally came from the bottom to the top, it is absolutely magnificent to read and to hear about, because those individuals, once they get to the top, they're already building a ladder, a bridge to reach over to the next mountain to climb up that mountain. Those are the best stories told. Those are the tall tales, the tale talls. Those are all of those things. Those are all those things. Because, like I said, I think it's boring. It's just boring. I know the same can happen even for an individual who have started at the bottom to go to their way to the top. I know that those individuals also can reach the top and then fall off. But for me personally, I want to know about the individual who has to crawl, blood, sweat, and tears. Those are just the best stories for me. Those are the best stories for me. And those are the books that I like to read. Because obviously, I haven't reached the zenith of my goals. I'm nowhere near the very top or even the highest peak. So I need to know that there's other individuals as myself. And I know that. And that's why I like to know about those individuals. That's why I like to read about those individuals. That's why I like to surround myself with those individuals. The people who have been silver spoon fed their entire life, I veer away from those individuals. And I don't mean to talk about them negatively or in a bad, in a bad way, but I can't relate to them. So why am I going to surround myself around them? Why am I going to read up on them? I can't learn anything from them. But you can always learn. Even people who have been given the best from the jump, you can always learn from somebody who has to climb their way up. That's the beautiful thing about it. You can learn from an individual who has been successful their entire life, of course, yes. But I honestly, personally think you can learn a lot more from somebody who has to work their way to the top. I love the grit. I love the journey. I love the evolution of an individual. Those are the type of stories that I don't want them to end. Those type of individuals who have left the story behind, such as that, I can read their book over and over again. If you're going to read my book, when it's all said and done, I want you to be able to read it more than once. I don't want to leave a story untold. I don't want to leave a story that has chapters in between that aren't written and it's just pictures. And I say that because, again, reverting back to individuals who have it all, there's some of them don't have any stories to be told. Some of them don't have any chapters with those stories. They just have pictures. They just have the success perspective that, unfortunately, it draws us towards them, but not everybody. Not individuals who want to learn. Not individuals who don't get drawn in just by what they see. I want you to know more than just what you see. I want to be able to explain behind the pictures. I want to be able to go into complete detail with those pictures. I don't just look at me and all you can really be able to talk about is, he had this, he had that, and I don't know. No. First off, my story isn't going to be about having anything. It's going to be about earning, developing, creating, maintaining change, growth, and just becoming better. I mean, that's what my whole story is evolving around. It's just growth. As a matter of fact, the book that I want to be titled is Growth. Life, all its ups and downs, and in the end, growth. That's it. That may be boring to some people, and I'll admit it kind of sounds boring. There's nothing sexy about it. There's nothing intriguing about growth. It's hard work every single day, but I want to be able to have a story about hard work every single day. I want to be able to have a story about growing, having to grow some more, maybe falling, and then having to grow all over again. That's what I want. I want that just non ending, thick, I'm talking about thick, repetitive chapters with the stories. And me explaining that is pretty much the summary of this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel, in a way, is a representation of my life. It's in a way a representation of my overall purpose that I believe is my life. And that's just growth and just trying to be my best self. That's it. That's it. Nothing extra. Um, and if you're going to write a story, if you want your life to be and become a story, just why not let it be the best? I don't say this in a jealous way. I don't say this in a demeaning way, negative, whatever. But a lot of people have been a New York bestseller. A lot. And I'm not saying it's easy at all. Hear me clearly. A lot of people have been a New York bestseller. And I'm not saying it's easy. But why not be the best seller of all time when it comes to your life? Why not? Why not? Why not be an ambitious individual towards your life? Really, what do you have to lose? You're going to be gone anyway. And people are going to be able to pick the 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 the, the light and the dark as they do. And a lot of people are probably going to pick at the dark more than the light. But when they do pick at the light, yeah. When they do pick at the light, make sure that they do not ever forget it. Why not let your book, why not let your life be about that? Why not? Because books, they change. Throughout the stories and the chapters, it changes. That's life. Life is inevitable to change. And the best books are about change. They don't stay the same. There's always a change in the course of its chapters and the stories. So why not let that be your life? Wherever you're at in your life right now, that does not have to be the end of your story. That does not have to be the end of your book. That does not. If you're in, I don't say this again in a demeaning way. If you're an individual who lives off of this is pretty much the only example, the only type of context I can create. But if you're an individual who lives in just a sexual life spotlight and you have an exotic book, there's exotic books if that's what you're about. But why not let it be the best selling exotic book ever? And I'm not advocating you to live that type of life, that nightlife, letting the freak out at night or even during the day. But I'm just saying for better context, I'm just using that as an example because there's literally exotic books. Don't ask me how I know. I read a lot. That's all I'm going to say. And if you're a person who is a hopeless romantic, you just you want that love, you know it's out there, you haven't found it, but you have so many stories and chapters to write about and to help others learn and grow from what you went through. Why not let it be the best selling book, story, chapters of all time? You get what I'm saying. Now, what am I? While I'm over here giving examples and probably pointing people out. Excuse me, what am I? Well, honestly, I can be a combination of all those things if we're going to be completely honest. But that's why there's chapters with my stories. And that's why there can be chapters with your stories. So hopefully you got the change that I just created just now. You know, even like that's why I was saying what I was saying. Wherever you're at in life, it doesn't have to be the end. So if you are in a exotic chapter of your story, it doesn't have to be all there is to your book, also known as your life. Boy, I love how I put that. That sounded very intellectual, if you ask me. It might have sounded dumb to a lot of people, but why not let your life be the best-selling book of all time? Now, will you ever know? No, but that's the beauty of it all, because you can already tell yourself it's going to be the best-selling book of all time with the best-selling stories with chapters told. And that's the beauty, because you don't have to know. And because you don't know, you can already tell yourself that's what it's going to be. And because you're telling yourself that's what it's going to be, that's what you can aim for with every chapter, with every story told to your book, which is also your life. Because me personally, I know I don't do much, but the imagination that I have and where I see, where I envision myself to be, again, it's not having more, it's becoming more. It's seeing more, it's achieving more. It's giving more. Traveling the world, my goodness. Traveling the world, because the world isn't something I created, it's something that was already made. And for me, I believe that it's something that we all are given to see, and it's something we should all want to be able to do. So I have confidence to be able to say that my life, my book will be an interesting one. It will be a long one, not because I'm going to live a long life, but just because I have so much to be told. I have so much to be shared. I have so much to be given with the knowledge, the suggestions, the creativity, and the trial and tribulations that we all have. But what makes it interesting is the way that I approach them and the way that I use them to make myself better. And again, that can be a part of your book. That can be something that you blend in with your chapters that create your stories. Lord have mercy. I love it. I love it, y'all. I love it. This is Mind, Muscle, Spirit, Motivation. Hey, it's just suggestions, y'all. It's just trying to be better. It's just trying to give you ideas in which you can apply them to your life just to get better. I'm not a guru. I've said it before and I will continue to say it for those who may think I am, just because the words that I use and the intellect that I have. I'm just kidding. I stutter in every single video. But like, subscribe, share, and just get to know your boy. All great minds think alike. Maybe I've already shared some ideas that you can familiarize yourself with, or that you're already familiar with. But make your life the best it can possibly be. Don't compare it to anyone because it is yours. No one has the same fingerprints as you, so it's going to be different. And as it should be. Until next time, y'all. Again, it's mind, muscle, spirit, motivation. Let's keep this thing rolling. Y'all stay blessed. Stay safe. Blessed.
I'd say one of the strongest mental frames that has gotten me through my hardest times is thinking this will be the story that I will one day tell. And that means the harder it is, the bigger the dragon, the more epic the story, and by consequence, the more epic the hero. And if you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen.